Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is General Dreams. I'm Mike. So, my little deal on my camera broke, so I gotta hold my phone out here as far as I can. So we made it back from the trip. Last week I showed the camper and I towed the General going to a trip over in Eastern Oregon. So in this video I'll show some shots of the snow and the camper being in the snow. And then we'll talk a little bit about the issue I had with this. I mentioned in the last video that there was an issue with this, but it made it through the week. So I'll show a bunch of this stuff. There'll be a little clip in there showing when I was being towed back to camp, because it was easier than working on it on the side of the road. And then toward the end of the video, I'll explain everything about what happened. And I hope there's some useful information in here. Get to see some pretty country. So we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so we got a little bit of snow on the pass here. Not too bad. The truck says it's 43 degrees. So, smooth sailing. A little bit of rain. Heading up over the pass. Where's that semi go? There's a semi that's trying to sneak up on me. Oh, we're at the tunnel. Last time I was here, they were still working on one end of this. We got a new RV setup we're trying out this trip. We got a Lance camper on the back of the truck. Got the flatbed trailer behind with the General in tow. So overall I got less weight that I'm motoring down the road. And normally this time of year when I come over this way, my toy hauler freezes up. Because it's not an actual 4-season. This camper is, so it should be pretty trouble-free. The truck handles it really well. Got some kind of overloads on there. I'm gonna have to do some research and find out what kind they are. They were on when I got the truck, but they work pretty good. I tried to grab the phone and get it up there in time to grab the ski lodge, but it had gone into some sleep mode or something, so I wasn't able to get it. Oh, that was the peak. Heading down the other side now, you can see those trees whipping. May not show in the video, but them trees are whipping, so there's some wind going on down here. Alright, here we go. We got a little snow on the maiden voyage with the camper. Out here camping on the farm. A couple other trailers there, General over there, the farmhouse. That's all hay fields out there. So doing all right. Maiden voyage there. Heater works pretty good. Handles the winds pretty good. The first night was pretty windy. Got the jacks down. Wasn't rocking around too much. So far, I think I'm liking it. So we'll see how the rest of the camping trip pans out. Eastern Oregon in the wintertime. A little snow on the ground in the desert. Beautiful. Sure changes the way the desert looks. Coming out here in the early morning, just relaxing, cruising around. Nobody's been out here. Peaceful morning in Eastern Oregon. Winter time is here. Eastern Oregon, cruising in the snow. So, I'm still trying to figure out why I can't get a belt to just last and last and last. You know, there's people that say, oh, you should put more power to it. And it's like, yeah, I'd love to put more power to it, but you can't put more power to it when it can't hold the stock power with the belt. And, you know, like I said, it's never an issue on dirt or trails. It's only after it's been to a dune trip or on a dune trip. The dunes just work it too hard. But I still think there's something that I'm missing that's not right with the setup, and I just haven't figured out exactly what it is. So the other thing that happened, my bolt backed out of the secondary. I don't know if you could see it. I think you can. There's a crack there. This is melted up here. It tried to burn its way through. So a friend in the area, he had some plastic epoxy JB weld in his shop. So we JB welded the inside of that to hold it back together and to not let any water get in there. And it worked great. And I will take this off once I get in the shop, make sure everything's good, make sure nothing got in there, and that was completely sealed. And when I go to the dunes, I have never had sand get in here. So it's not sand getting in there causing a problem with my belt or my clutching or whatever it is. It's something else. Either I don't know if my springs aren't tight enough. It has a clutch kit, but it had the problem when it was a stock clutch. I've gone through everything on alignment. I don't know. So that'll be getting taken apart and examined again. See what I can find out. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Oh, every once in a while I'd hit the brakes and they'd go. So I need to go around those and check the brake pads. I've got, what do I have? 4,000 miles or something like that. Everything quick check, looks good there. And everything looks good over here. So it's time for a once over. Let's see, inside, any issues? Nope, no issues. Once the thing warms up, even when you're in that single digit weather, the heater will keep you warm. So, works good. Well, it's a good thing that I have a strap. It's a bad thing that I have to use it. So the bolt backed out of the secondary again. I know for a fact that thing was put in 100% by the book. Loctite and everything. It backed out, burnt a hole in the side of my case. So now my case will leak oil, or leak, water can get in it if I get it back together. So this is really fun. I can put tape over it temporarily or something, but I don't know. This is awesome. I don't know what's causing it. I'm going to dab a Loctite on it. I had everything clean. I had it torqued to spec. It's ridiculous. I'm getting tired of this. Anyway, good thing I got a strap. So, heading back to camp. Well, got the thing back to camp. This is what the cover looks like. Pretty thrashed. You see here, it started burning through the outside. Just melting it away. So I trimmed everything off around these edges that was sticking up. Anything that was sticking up along here, this is actually melted down in, so it shouldn't have anything sticking up in the way. Then I'm thinking I'm gonna wash it real good, and I'm gonna probably try to put a sealant on it on the inside here and on the outside out here. So I took the bolt and I got my glasses on and inspected it. I think I'm not focusing in on it. Well, anyway, it didn't look too bad. So then I just took a wrench and just slowly tried turning it in there. So, I didn't want to force anything. So it went in there, back it out. So now I'm cleaning everything up. There was melted plastic in these fins going around that, of course, because it was rubbing on the case. Clean those up. I don't see anything else visually wrong. So I'm going to wash everything. Doing the scouring pad thing on this, clean that. Wash that, seal it, put everything back together, and hope for the best. Hopefully I'll be able to continue my trip here with the machine. So, when you get back to cleaning, that's where we are. Okay, so when I was out there in the desert, I never went back to the video to show what we wound up coming up with. So the evening that this happened and the belt came off, or not the belt, the clutch came off, this was all burned through. I figured, well, if I can find some caulking or something like that to fill the holes, some moisture wouldn't come through, so that I could still use the machine and driving in the snow and everything. I figured I would caulk this real good, and I would caulk this side. Well, it turns out that our buddy out there, he went out and checked in his shop, and he had some of this JB Weld plastic epoxy stuff. So we mixed that up and we smeared that on this whole thing down to here. We wiped this whole thing down with some brake clean and everything to get it clean. And we were able to get enough on there, and we got just the melted plastic that came through here. There's a little bit of epoxy that came through right there, and a little bit that came through, oh, get the camera in the right spot, they came through right there. And then we'd take it and we held it up to the light, you know, kind of like did one of these tricks, like, oh, I must have bumped the camera. So I held it up to the light when we were there, and you know, looking around, we saw one little hole, put a little more epoxy on it, held it up there both ways, looking, make sure that it was sealed, and it looked like it was. So we decided we're going to run that. So then when I got home, I pulled the cover off and I checked it all out. Oh, I skipped a spot. So when I got back to camp, you know, I had this bolt off still. I took a wire wheel he had and I cleaned it really good, so the bolt was completely clean, cleaner than I could get at camp. And he had some blue Loctite. I coated that entire bolt with blue Loctite instead of just putting that dab on it like you would normally do. Then I put it in there, and I didn't have a torque wrench, so I just tightened it really tight. Was able to do the rest of the trip. And this is still the same belt that was on there when this bolt backed out. The belt looked okay when I was there. I cleaned everything the best I could. I put it back together. I was able to do the rest of the trip. I got home. I took that belt back off. I examined this stuff a little more to see what's happened, you know, in the last few days of the trip. And the belt still looks okay. These surfaces didn't show anything drastic. Right now it is showing the belt is just a hair to the one side. So maybe it should have one of those spacers put back in here. But I'm afraid to pull that bolt back out. So it's not bad. You know, I can spin this. I can start the machine and this doesn't spin. It shifts easy, so you know, it's just a hair favoring the inboard side. And those shims, they're a pain. You put that little shim washer in behind this, and then you check it again, and you're like, oh, is that enough? I don't know. And then you put in a second one. Oh, that's too much. And you take one out, and you go back and forth, back and forth. I think I'm gonna run it like this and just keep my eye on it. Like I say, it's not dragging the belt where this thing's spinning. So anyway, everything looks okay. So I will probably continue running this setup. I'll probably take this cover and maybe go ahead, now that I'm home, and either get some epoxy and smear on this side also, or put some caulking on this side, or maybe get some more epoxy and build this up a little higher. I don't want to replace this cover yet until I'm confident whatever is causing this bolt to back out is resolved. You know, 2 times, and I try to look stuff up online. I'm not really finding anything. So if there's anyone out there that's got a real reason why that bolt would back out, you know, throw it in the comments down below. It'd help me out. It'd help other people that are watching. I haven't found any definite answer on, oh, it does this because of this, and this is how you fix it. You know, I haven't found anything like that yet. Driving the General around, it does great out there. It handles the rough surfaces great. You know, if it wasn't for something like this, it'd be the perfect trip. I did break a belt the day before, but it was a belt that had been to the dunes. I just pulled out on the highway. I was driving for about 2 minutes. I was probably about 75% throttle, and it's the outside layer of the belt that came off, about a third of it. So I just limped it back to camp in limp mode, threw this belt on, and then it was the following day that bolt backed out. So I don't know if that's a clue on something. Alright, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this helps someone. Hope somebody out there can help me with this situation. Like I say, throw it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel out. I'd appreciate it. And we will catch you on the next one.